We'll move on to the next question. So how many people should exhibitors expect to come to their booths? If you guys want to give any insights to that.
I would say roughly, depending on the turnout, I would say roughly 1K to 2K kids throughout the entire length of the festival. So that's going from 11 a.m. to, I believe, 5 p.m. So I would say if you have any prizes, toys, giveaways, just make sure your materials, your activity materials kind of adjust for that many kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you'll see times where there'll be a peak number of people, and then it may slow down a little bit depending around certain times, lunchtime. Sometimes it'll slow down a little bit where people are sitting down eating, but no, it will be steady all day long. And make sure you got plenty of if you're choosing to bring plenty of giveaways, yeah, make sure you got plenty of them, because you will be surprised at the turnout that you will see.
For sure. And Josh hit the nail on the head with what we expect. We do recommend that you have enough stuff for around 1,000 to 2,000 attendees. In total, we expect over 12,000 people to be at the Imagine Upstate Festival, but not everyone will be able to make it to every exhibit. And so that is why we recommend you have supplies for around 1,000 to 2,000 attendees. So next question is going to be, what happens if I run out of supplies for my activity? So if either of you guys have experienced this or seen this happen to someone else, what type of things have you seen?
So in the
I know.
Oh, you can go. Absolutely, you can go, Eugene.
No, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
So I know in my experience, it does happen. Some people do run out of experience. Sometimes we have volunteers go and get something easy if that's possible, but if not, it's not the end of the show. I just do think you can still, stay around and be present for the people who want to come by your booth. But I definitely say if you could prepare for it, you should, but I don't think you should, pack up shop if that does happen.
Yeah, I mean, we had planned on, in the past, we would always have one vehicle that was parked outside of the area. And because of the way we staff our exhibit, we always have one extra person that, if necessary, could run back to our place of business to get more materials, or to potentially even run to the grocery store or something to buy some candy or something for some kind of giveaway, whatever that may be. But yeah, I mean, because once you're inside the event area, you can't move anything. So, ensure that, because for us from BMW, of course, a vehicle is part of our display. Well, we have to make sure we have an extra vehicle parked outside in case we do need to, because once the event starts, you're there until the end. So you can't take your stuff down and get out. And so you need to be aware of that and plan for that ahead of time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for your insight. So here's some extra information or recommendations for that. So since you might run out of your primary activity, it might be a good idea to have a backup that's low cost, low maintenance, easy little activity. Something where you wouldn't have to use consumable materials could be an option. We ask that you do stay the whole time, even if you run out of supplies. So please don't close down your booth or leave. We do expect you to be there. If you run out of supplies, you can always talk to attendees about career paths, leading them into careers that might be into your field, just telling them about what your organization or business does. Anything like that is what we would encourage you to do. So next question, we've already kind of answered, but another little thing on that is, will there be lines outside of my exhibit? What have you guys experienced?
Yeah, for us, especially at peak times, we have had, 3, 4, 5 deep waiting to participate in particular activities. And there'll be, depending on what you set up in your exhibit. In the past, we've had some of our hands-on activities have longer lines than others. So, of course, we've learned from that. And so we took advantage of the ones we know that were very popular versus the ones that were not. And, but yes, plan on some lines. That's part of why we try to spread out a little bit, you know, when we can, just so people, you know, have enough room to move. And, but yeah.
Yeah, and I do think, you know, definitely expect lines. I agree with what you're saying. And depends on the activity that you guys have that you're putting on. If you keep it, you know, time sensitive, you know, like if it's something that, you know, they're playing with robots or they are, you know, playing in non-Newtonian fluid, keep it, you know, time sensitive for each kid to participate in, and then that will kind of speed up those lines as well. So just keep that in mind as you keep your activity throughout.
For sure. Thank you.
One other thing I wanted to add.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
One of the things that I wanted to add too, you know, talking about lines and running out of supplies. If you do happen to run out of supplies, feel free to reach out to your neighboring exhibitors. A lot of times they'll have extra stuff, you know, because we know it's all about the kids. And so you may not be advertising, it may not be what you wanted to have on the logo or whatever, but just to keep the energy high and the level of participation engaging, you know, a lot of the exhibitors are usually willing to help too. So just bear that in mind. Absolutely.
I love that. It is about the kids. So we do want everyone to encourage each other, help each other out on festival day. Absolutely. But long story short, yes, we do expect there to be lines at our booths. Like we've already mentioned, there's going to be over 12,000 attendees. So there's a lot of people. Both of our panelists have already mentioned this, but if you could try to speed up your activity when you see a line forming and just be flexible throughout the day and anticipate a crowd.